sure do you have enough power to win at the negotiation table? I remember at one point with the OLF there was a question about whether or not there could be a case made for a change under international law with the support of the international community to recognize their claim. And they took on a respected international lawyer and collected and presented their papers and their history, and the lawyer wrote it up. And I was at the meeting when she said to the group, well, the good news is that you have a textbook and robust claim for self-determination under international law. The bad news is that there is no court of last resort in the world that can award that decision to you. The only opportunity for winning that right will have to come through, and the right to have some kind of democratic exercise of choice it cannot be given to you. You'll have to seek it through and win it through political negotiation. And as you know, here in Europe, there are a number of long-standing unresolved disputes over self-determination and decentralized autonomy. The Kurds in northwestern Syria, in their self-declared state of Rojava, which maybe some of you have heard about, are obviously fighting the Turkish government as we speak, and the Turkish government's proxies for that right. And with less violence, we've seen the political struggles between the Catalans and the Basques in the Spanish state. I observed and played some very small role as the Basque armed group and its unarmed constituency weighed up the decision on how to continue to pursue their struggle and whether their tactics of violence were working and delivering. And for them, as the armed opposition groups in Ethiopia, they did not have that coercive power to force concessions from the Spanish state, but nor did they have the real option of agreeing the change over the negotiation table. The Spanish government refused. So how do you win the peace without military victory and without negotiation? The Basque armed group ETA and the communities that shared their agenda decided that there were more than two paths, those two paths to peace. And they unilaterally declared a formal end to their armed struggle at an internationally sponsored conference in 2011. And their process and their struggle continues. But their society has become a much safer place. And there have been significant political changes in the last 7 years, more than in the previous 27 years. Prisoners have been released and relocated, those on the run have had a chance to go home, weapons have been disposed of, and there are steady and incremental political gains, and a greater political unity between the political representatives of the people. I appreciate how Dr. Fatima just said this notion that these changes is a process. And of course that process is not finished. And the response of the Spanish state to the non-violent campaigns of Catalonia show that there's a long way to go before they will find any kind of political accommodation. But they've moved the struggle into the political arena. Now, I appreciate that what we have is just these little moments to share these reflections, so I'll really keep it as short as that and just offer a few thoughts in conclusion. Is that what I'd like to say, what I've learned from this career of working on peace processes is that we know that peace or political settlement is really not an event. It's not a comprehensive agreement. It's not a deal. It's a process, and everything is in dynamic motion. We need to pay attention to those processes. We just in Edinburgh we have been part of a process where we've collected over 1,500 agreements reached over the last 25 years from 140 different processes and make them available online, so those who are interested in drawing ideas and precedents from other agreements have a chance to use that material. And it really underscores that if you just do the math of that there were at least 10 agreements in each of these different political processes. There wasn't one deal, it was a number of iterative deals. So we need to move away from the idea of a single elite brokered deal. The life is messy, and there are many roles to be played, and many issues to work on, and many paths to peace. I suppose the other simple conclusion